When Arantxa Sanchez Vicario and Elena Sukova took the court, they usually did so together as a top-ranked doubles team. But in the women's semifinals, they stood apart with a single purpose: eliminate your partner from the singles competition. Under an unsettled sky, the two women began to settle the score. The first set was a seesaw affair as Sanchez Vicario struggled to reach her second U.S. Open final in a row. But it was Sukova who served for the opening set at 5-4. The Spaniard broke back, knotting the first set at 5. And then saved 2 more set points in the tiebreak before prevailing 9-7. Sanchez Vicario lifted her game in the second set, breaking Sukova quickly. But Sukova quickly countered as they rallied back and forth to 5-all. Elena held, then broke for the set. And as they opened the third, the unsettled skies opened and Sanchez had a chance to break the momentum. When they returned, Sukova surged to 5-1, and soon Sukova was on her way to her 4th Grand Slam final and her 2nd U.S. Open title match. There would be no time for grudges. The 2 semifinalists would reunite to take a stand against the top-seeded doubles team of Gigi Fernandez and Natalia Zvereva. The next guest at Manuela Maleeva-Fragniere's farewell party was the #1 seed Steffi Graf. To an extent, their semifinal match would become a surprise party, as Maleeva-Fragniere, who had been unsuccessful against Graf in their 17 previous matches, came out and played a sterling first set, even outlasting Steffi in an 11-deuce game. In the second set, Steffi found her game. But Manuela continued to have her moments. As the sun set on the second set, Manuela entered perhaps the last set of her U.S. Open career, knotted with the #1 at 1 set apiece. In the third set, Steffi shifted into overdrive, and the ensuing battle through the first 2 games included some marvelous shot-making. Graf took a 2-love third set lead and never looked back, conceding a mere 5 points over the last 4 games to reach her first U.S. Open final since 1990 and her 5th overall. And the U.S. Open crowd gave a final farewell as Manuela made her final curtain call. At long last, in the late summer, the final installment of a compelling 2-week tournament was about to be made. This international event had, as it had throughout its 25-year history, added more than one chapter to the ever-changing saga. There was something special in the air, as there always is for a Grand Slam championship, when two survivors take the court to fight for the right to be known as the best. Steffi Graf had been there before. 13 times she had collected Grand Slam titles, and the year 1993 had been good to her, as she walked away with both the French Open and Wimbledon championships. Her opponent, in contrast, was slam-less, and had won but once in 19 attempts against the top seed. But stranger things had happened at this tournament, but not on this day. Sukova's height had been her strength in her previous upsets against Martina Navratilova and Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. But Graf came out firing at her feet, and her aim was true. Combining beautiful backhands with a control of the net, she broke Sukova in the second game. Graf had ample incentive to win, and win decisively, wanting to erase the memory of her last visit to the finals, a 1990 loss to Gabriela Sabatini. Elena Sukova in the third game showed flashes of what had gotten her to the finals as she broke right back. But Graf made a stubborn stand as she broke Sukova in the fourth game. With the first set at 5-2, Sukova tried to play catch-up. But Graf, crisp and confident, closed out the first set. Again, Graf broke Sukova at the beginning of the set. And surged to a 4-1 lead. Steffi's passing shots passed the charging Sukova right by. And although Elena had a few valiant volleys, Steffi Graf would basically breeze to her 20th victory in a row over Sukova, win her 6th consecutive tournament, and capture her 3rd U.S. Open Women's Singles Championship.
I do know that there's one player who hasn't been around the last 3 Grand Slams, and that's Monica, and I just hope she'll be soon back.